Why do you think the corruption is high among the rich people?
The rich, they do bigger corruption. It's a mania. Basically, those who are indulging in let's say corruption now, they don't need it.
When I hear all your stories and analogies, I somehow have to believe that greed is ingrained in us genetically.
If you are greedy, can you be satisfied with whole planet?
No.
You'll ask, what about moon?
Yes.
What about Mars?
Educated people are only these criminals, right? Whomever it is,
Yes.
summons are coming, CBI inquiries.
Yeah, CBI, ED and IT, they are not going to a rickshaw puller
Yeah.
poor farmer.
Yes, definitely. Hi, welcome to KC Talks. Director Shankar, a well-known, versatile director of Tamil movie industry and Telugu, has made many movies on corruption. The very big hits that he has given, and he has addressed this corruption as a major challenge for Indian economy. We see in the recent trend, lot of ED summons have been issued to politicians across various political parties. Though India's economy is at all-time high, such a developing nation, but still corruption haunts us. So let us understand from Dr. Sahadeva Swami, what is the root cause of this corruption and how do we eradicate corruption completely for a better governance and for a better economy? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So corruption, Bhrashtachar, such a big, more powerful than coronavirus. It's haunting India for the last, almost after independence, we have always seen. Even now, the entire opposition parties are, telling the ruling government is using ED as a witch hunting. So, where do you see this going on and what is this problem all about?
Material world, there will always be a section. All vices, there has always been. There have been murderers.
Mm-hmm.
There have been thieves, there have been rapists, but only concern is the prevalence. The minority, when it happens in isolated case, a very rare case, that's why traditionally king will sit in the court in his assembly and a thief will be brought. Immediate justice will be rendered.
Yes.
Why the king could handle? Because they were just hardly a day or two. Once in a while, there were cases.
Oh.
Today we have almost, cases in crores are there are how many cases are pending before Indian court. So our concern is the prevalence. So rather than an isolated case, this is a rule. Exception is honesty has become exception. That's
Okay.
what concerns us.
Yes.
So they there was an effort some 25 years ago, 30 years back. There was an effort. Akhil Bharatiya Bhrashtachar Nirmulan Samiti was formed to uproot corruption from Indian society. Now that society had to be disbanded because, the president was
Corrupted himself?
was the secretary, the committee members were, was siphoning off the funds. So that committee that society got shut down.
Okay.
So they themselves were, like doctor, heal thyself. So this is and I tell you, it is not a question of need. It is not that a poor man is only corrupt or somebody is in need. Actually, corruption or the bigger form is indulged in by people who are very well off, who are super well off.
Okay.
So that is our concern,
So why do you think the richer, you should be more saturated, but why do you think the corruption is high among the rich people?
You see, it is a question of khira chor ya hira chor, as our founder used to say. The rich, they do bigger corruption,
Mm-hmm.
And the poor, they may steal something small,
Some cucumbers, huh?
something, but stealing is stealing.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is not a question of rich or poor again, but the richer section, what we see, the white collar crimes,
Mm.
a pocket mar, how much damage he can cause or how much can he steal in a day.
Mm.
But if you just go to Wiki and see the scams in India, they are running in trillions of dollars in terms of dollars
Yeah.
in the last 30, 40, 50 years.
Mm.
So point is, this anything you repeatedly do becomes a habit, and you got to do it increasingly, on a bigger and bigger scale.
Mm.
So what happens is this kleptomania, that's a medical term for that, the habit to steal. There have been cases like again I'll come back to our founder several times in this case. During his times, the richest family was Nandi family in Bengal.
Okay.
So they had a son.
Mm.
Now he belongs to one of the richest families, and he would dress up, have his lunch, take a nap, dress up, and he would go to Howrah station. Well dressed young man, good looking. He will look little bewildered, and some commuter he will catch. Sir or ma'am, I've lost my luggage.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody taken away. What do I do now? Okay, sir. Okay, brother. So can you help me with this? I haven't. So he will request some money.
Oh.
So that way he would every day fleece somebody.
Mm.
Then he would go and eat something, what he liked, and come back home.
Oh.
He didn't need all of that.
Yes.
And British, when he was a prince, George VI,
Mm-hmm.
there are reports, he was stealing jewels. So it is not that people, it's a mania actually. It's a mania, basically those who are indulging in there's a corruption now. They don't need it. You agree with me?
You said a very, very interesting topic, Swamiji.
Ah.
So you said George VI had this stealing propensity.
He was stealing jewels, Of course, everything is so valuable. British were looting around the world. They were officially
Official
Chor
looters.
Bazaar. That British museum is Chor Bazaar of Delhi. Yes.
So you showed us a very new perspective that this is a mania. This is a mental disorder.
It is not officially, but it is actually when you lose perspective of life,
Okay. Why do you think that the Nandi family person, he was well off, he was dressing, but then again he used to go and take money?
Many years ago, I read that in Times of India, in airport, I think if you Google 1,000 crore rupees person who is owning, he's an industrialist, and he was caught stealing an iPhone. What happens in security, that waiting area, somebody left his or her iPhone, and then when he came back, it was not there. So then they went to security footage and they found, and boarding, he had already found this this gentleman actually had picked it up and he boarded his flight. Flight was ready to taxi on the, ready to take off. So they recalled that, stopped it, brought him and arrested him. I remember it was 1,000 crore. He is an owner of, factories, but he stole that iPhone,
Then it looks like a mania.
Yeah, it is actually, you see, there are many levels of insanity, not all recognized by medical science,
Oh.
So why I say mania, listen to me, that, how much can you eat in a day? Like how many chapatis do you eat, Krishna Chaitanya?
4, 5.
4, 5, 2, 3 morning or little rice. Now you may be owning, let's say, I won't get into your finances. You are worth maybe 1 crore, 2 crore, whatever you were, let it be. Now you become 1,000 crore party. How many chapatis will you eat? 400?
Same.
Same? Not, now you have 1 crore to you have gone 1,000, at least make it 200 chapatis.
No, same.
What's the size of your cot, bed?
Same queen size bed.
Queen size you sleep, huh?
Yeah.
So when you get 1,000 crore, how much will be your bed size?
No, queen size only. I will not increase.
How many sets of, now you are wearing what? One kurta
Yes.
and one whatever,
Yes.
pajama, right? And how many at a time can you wear if you are 1,000? Same one.
Same.
So my point is, your capacity to enjoy is actually limited, isn't it?
Yes.
No matter how many 1,000 crores you have. For example, now how much rupees kilo rice you buy? 50 or 100 rupees kilo. Organic if you eat, and best
Yeah,
150.
150 max.
You become a billionaire,
Hmm.
God willing, next few years. How much kilo rice would we be eating? Like,
Same. I'll definitely not be eating gold and silver for sure. Only
you
rice.
can't eat, right?
Yeah.
End of the day, you only can eat so much, you can only enjoy so much, you can only consume so much.
Yes.
So they say, कहते हैं, if you are in peace, you can have your, South Indian rasam and rice, very nice. It'll taste.
Hmm.
But with ED sitting on your head,
Hmm.
you are given pizza, pakoda, samosa, kachori. Will you enjoy? What do you think will be?
No. Peace of mind is more important. No.
No, which one will you relish more? With peace of mind, your simple rice and rasam, right?
Yes. Yes.
Rice or dal, for example.
Yes.
It will taste good.
Yeah.
But if you have with everything,
Hmm.
with, notices coming your way,
Hmm.
the best multi-course meal you will not enjoy.
No, we
Is that
can't.
correct?
Yeah. Of course, yes.
So that was where is the necessity? That's why I call it a mania or insanity,
Because it is not necessary. It is not needed.
Not needed.
For 1,000 crore, high net worth individual,
Or a politician who's already sitting on tons of
money,
you know,
yeah.
it's not needed.
What does the medical world say about this, Swamiji? Do they recognize this?
No, there is in behavioral psychology, psychology studies this subject, kleptomania, and it is when these are behavioral traits. This comes under behavioral traits.
Personality disorders, rather.
They are personality disorder. Depends, there is there are many kind of mania in medical science. But there is no it to when I don't know if they have developed a treatment. I'm
No,
not
that's
sure,
very, very interesting point, because you should probably give this subject to Director Shankar. he will make a beautiful script out of this. This is a disorder, and then there should be a pill to cure this ill. And then Bhrashtachar is over in India, and India will be a peaceful country now. No, but definitely it is what you say makes sense. From George VI to the 1,000 crore HNI, it is so out of logic. So thieving is a part of that personality disorder.
Yeah, thieving, actually what happens is it's everything starts slow. Then any bad, like you drink, people who are drinking, they start, how do they start? With one pack?
Start with
Before
one.
they become drunkard. Those who are smokers, how do they start?
They start with few puffs and
Few puffs, then they become chain smokers.
Yeah.
Like that's why they have airports, As soon as you land, the first thing you see is smoker's room,
Yeah.
Because I've been without smoking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I've seen personally people, I'm talking of very big bureaucrats, and I could sense that by evening 6, 7, if they haven't found a major murga, bakra nahi mila hai usko, then they think आज मजा नहीं आया काम में, आज कोई बकरा आया नहीं, So then your scale continuously keeps going up, But see the example, Chanakya Pandit, It's been almost 2,000 years, 1800 to still people remember him. He was controlling the destiny of India, not the present day India, right from Afghanistan and up to Cambodia and forest.
Yeah.
That India, including Java, Sumatra, everywhere. That India he controlled, living in a hut. When somebody comes to him, he extinguishes, puts off one lamp and lights up another lamp. Living in a hut, the Prime Minister of India, King, chief advisor to the Maurya dynasty. Then he said, sir, what I have come here, I'll talk later on, but why did you do that? Now this is my personal work. So I'm using personal oil. This was state lamp with a state oil. So now personal work, I don't use state resources. Mahatma Gandhi was not in an Audi or BMW, was not wearing designer shoes and dresses and designer specs, He was a person who was wearing khadi, not even covering, just upper cloth and
lion
cloth, dhoti, and some slippers, rustic slippers. He was controlling the destiny of India. So character strength of the character. And what happens is,
Swamiji, 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. So you said this example of this lamp of Chanakya, Gandhi. I heard it previously also from you. Are we in a position to appreciate these characters now? Can Gandhi survive the modern India? Because insanity is the common sanity of this Indian civilization today.
right. No, I fully agree. One has to see what is practical according to time, place and circumstances. Today the word, it's a changed word, changed reality. Fine. But the foundational situations change, but foundational principles don't change.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So even today, thieving is a criminal offense.
Yeah.
Even back then, so today you got to dress up according to time, place, circumstances. Today you are judged according to your dress. Fine. So you dress up like a gentleman. Today if you are judged according to your car, go get a good car, no doubt. But don't go beyond what you call, don't take undue risk. That principle holds good, So we cannot afford that risk,
Makes a lot of sense. If it is a mania and at least a personality disorder, I only see these people getting summons, going to maybe jail for a year or maybe less than, because at least 2G spectrum I've seen,
Yes.
for maybe few months and they come out. I now feel there has to be a rehabilitation center for this, because it is ingrained in them, because for decades together sitting in the higher offices, they are more concerned about the income that is coming either ways, but not that salary that government is giving them for work. So it has gone into their psyche. They need a serious rehabilitation.
A very good point. Actually, that rehabilitation, I would say, is a spiritual education. Is actually why they are doing that. Somebody, he's a big minister. Already he is the owner, he is owning assets worth millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Why he is indulging in? I tell you that one bureaucrat, whole family committed suicide. First his wife died due to humiliation. He was central government big. Then daughter couldn't cope up, daughter committed. Then finally son and father died off. Just because he was a cabinet level secretary,
Okay. All because of corruption?
Corruption. He was caught in a small case. So then wife just couldn't cope up, Then one by one, and now both of them, all four are dead. So my point is, the rehabilitation is a very important point, that there should be, it should be part of curriculum. That what is the differentiation between need and greed? That should be inculcated in curriculum. You see, there is enough for everybody's need in the world.
Yeah.
It's a question of maldistribution. Distribution is wrong, but there are enough resources. People have inequality is there. There is a nature's resources we are squandering on defense outlay rather than benefiting people. Maldistribution is happening. So what that rehabilitation you have asked is that need. There is not enough for one person's greed in this whole world. Suppose you, Krishna Chaitanya, if I give you the whole planet, if you are greedy, can you be satisfied with whole planet?
No.
You'll ask, what about moon?
Yes.
What about Mars?
Makes sense.
But if you have to be satisfied, I tell you, that was our Indian ethos, Indian culture. Krishna Nagar, the king of Krishna Nagar in Bengal, he was the king of Bengal actually. He heard many times a great scholar in Krishna Nagar who was just teaching students, very learned scholar. So he just came down and bowed down to him, and king was received well. So what can we do for you? The scholar asked. So king said, sir, I have heard a lot about you. I just wanted to serve you in a way. Please suggest, how can I serve you? What can I offer you? You are doing a great service to my kingdom. So he said, well, I can't think of maybe. So he spoke to his wife, which was indoors in the hut. Do you, king, our sir is here. Raja Saab is here. What do you think we can, So she said, what do you need? We have clothes, 2 sets. Then the students bring some rice, and we have beautiful tamarind tree we are sitting under, and such a nice. So what do you think? So they were at a loss to ask him.
Contented. Contentment
in life. So one can be content. One can be perfectly content with a little tamarind and peacefully enjoy life. But otherwise, like 2G, they are telling kill Sanatan Dharma, remove, eradicate, same guys.
Yes.
Same crooks. They were not content with 1,74,000 crores.
Yes.
Yeah. So point is, shall I tell you another small incident? That king announced, that whoever wins this contest can acquire as much land as he needs within the daytime, before morning till sunset, whatever you can walk is yours. So there was a contest and somebody won that. So he right at the sunrise, he set off. So it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So he says, if I walk another 2 kilometers, I am owner of that much tract of land. So it's mid-noon, Then he says, now better I go back, because he has to report by sunset. So then he says, okay, let me take another kilometer. And then he's running around. So he exactly comes back, touches the finishing line at sunset. But then due to exhaustion and sunstroke, he dies. Then how much land he needed finally?
Only 6 feet land.
6 feet, 2 yards.
Yeah.
Not 200 kilometers he didn't need. At the end of the day, we need 2 yards, So that has to be the training program. That life where how much you need. There is no end to the needs, right?
But there is no education about this, because when I hear all your stories and analogies, I somehow have to believe that greed is ingrained in us genetically.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, that is all vices.
It is just a relative. Somebody has more, somebody has less. But ingrained in us.
You see, yes, all these vices, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Matsarya, the Shad Ripus, the 6 vices, Mad, Moha, Lobha, all are there. It is a question of The wolf, there are two wolves inside. So there is a good yourself. Every biggest crook has somewhere there is goodness, which will conscience. Of course, he can be so dead that he doesn't listen to conscience anymore. But there is conscience somewhere in the worst crook. There will be some conscience somewhere, and good quality in the worst crook, worst criminal. You can see some goodness somewhere. There might be. Now, point is that it's a fight of two wolves inside. Now, which wolf will win?
The bad wolf will win.
No, the wolf you feed.
Mm.
The wolf you feed. So today's society, what it is doing is feeding the bad wolves, the lust wolf, the anger wolf. Your cinema, anger is glorified.
Anger is glorified, yeah. Violence is glorified.
So
lust is glorified beyond imagination.
In sight, in mind, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
So all today we are seeing is, lust glorified. Now we are feeding those wrong wolves here, Society is geared towards whole consumerism. Whole consumerism is about, you somehow beg, borrow, steal the lifestyle, China actually has done something good about that they are, you see, government, it is not that government supplies you basic necessity and infrastructure. No. Government's duty is also to teach you morally, check your ethics and morality. And suppose you are a father. Okay? What is your duty to give your son education? Son your, clothing,
Food, shelter,
and medicine.
yeah, education.
Is that, or you need to educate also?
Educate.
And correct him also.
Moral principles, yes.
Not just give him food and that's the end of the thing. So same way government has to actually look after, get into morality and ethics. Get into character training.
Moral science as a subject. Even in our childhood, I'm speaking about early 90s. Nobody played any interest in that. We were all busy studying mathematics.
There are no yatha raja tatha pradya. Yadayad acharati sreshtas. There is no example of who is moral. So that is why we thought this is hypocrisy. So morality, now good question, how to make this thing relevant today. That moral education becomes, so we have to create a setting for that. Don't name it. You talk about morality in your main subjects. And your main subject should have, like you have a science subject. Science, so much scientific fraternity is actually, they are misleading. They are cheating. They are misreporting, So much cheating. For example, you talk biology. When you biology, it comes to, study of body, and you talk about that how Dolo actually spent 1,000 crores during pandemic to propagate itself. That was Supreme Court, brought in Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So education, what is there? First and foremost, education has to be geared towards character building.
Very true, Swamiji. Moral ethics and values are the real education.
Yes.
But we are only having pseudo education today.
Yeah. So then we see the whole society is geared towards.
All educated people are only these criminals, right? Whomever it is, summons are coming, CBI inquiries.
Yeah, CBI, ED and IT, they are not going to a rickshaw puller or a poor farmer,
Yes, definitely, yes. So one thing that I want to know from you. Recently I heard our Prime Minister speaking in the Parliament stating that, he's telling an analogy, that if somebody is caught stealing stuff in a classroom, he will have a guilt to show his face for next 10 days, 1 month in the school. No, he will be very shy. He'll be sitting at one corner, and he will have very tough time facing his friends, teacher, and everybody. But the person that you have quoted who has done 2G spectrum scam now comes and speaks about Sanatana without shame, and very happily roaming in the public, getting respect. What happened to the society? What happened to this something? What do you call that as? Guilt,
Yeah, what you see, there is something called low class and something called no class.
No class. This is a no class person.
No. So we are getting into a mode where it's like free for all. It's like when animal, for example, suppose you are having your dinner outdoor under nice, moonlit night or evening, a dog comes and you just shoo it away. You are shooing the dog away or showing him a stick. It will again come back. It is not that I have been shooed away, I have been asked to go away for last 3 times. I shouldn't do that. So animals don't understand. So what as society, as it becomes animalistic, that basic shame goes away, and rather a corrupt man, he thinks that I am actually today. Actually, we are looking up to them, or actually we think, okay, he is corrupt, he is a thief, he is actually better than the rest of us. So it is exactly, you can understand this analogy by in a village somebody lost his nose due to accident, something, he got cut, so he was teased as Nakata, not Kata. Nakata. Then he thought what to do, so he went around the town, village, and told that this is the latest fashion. So he convinced one person to cut his nose. Then both of them convinced third, fourth, whole village got convinced and cut their nose, and one person was with the nose.
That is
then
how
he was being teased as Naku.
Somebody who has
person
nose.
with the nose. So people, it's a society of Nakatas. So then the person with the nose will be pointed out. And Srila Prabhupada also told about a person lost his bag. And he went to search in that village that who has stolen his bag. Then he found the whole village is actually a village of thieves.
Okay.
It's a village of thieves. So today, why they have lost is shame, because somehow it has become glorified, and somehow they have and there is no what you call the justice system. The justice, the where they will fear. Kashmir, even today in Middle East, but in India, take the example of Kashmir. If you are caught stealing, your hands would be chopped off. That was the system. Very stern punishment. Even today in Middle East, they chop off. There are places, the other day somebody came from Doha, and he says, we don't steal, our hands may be cut off, left hand.
So fear.
So there should be justice system. When they see no repercussion, it's a society of, so with society without a justice system. So there was no, British came, they realized that India, nobody stole. When Sanghi came, Chinese traveler, anklets lying on the, and he just lady pushed away. For 3 days it was lying until the owner came. Nobody would touch. And I have seen, I was in mountains, maybe 20. We just left our baggage by roadside, and the later servants came and taken it back. We didn't have to all my laptop, everything, nobody would touch there. They would keep a stone on top of that suitcase that it belongs to somebody. That's it. They would keep a suitcase on top of it that it belongs to somebody. That's about it, you know. So
So the morals, values and ethics were very high when British came into India. But today, leave of today, Swamiji, even, post-independence, the heroic figures in the eyes of the people were some good politicians, like Sarvepalli Radhakrishna, like Ambedkar. People had Subhash Chandra Bose, Chandrasekhar Azad. Today, who are these role models for the youth? When I go to small towns, villages of at least South India, cinema heroes. They're all fan parties, constantly thinking about which hero is the best. And dumbing down of human brains is what I see in this generation, because their iconic figures are not right models.
right.
That's the
I would feel that okay, we are some politicians now, without naming them, apparently they are very righteous. If you see their family members, you know, they were doing small time business, they are still doing the same thing. So I think somewhere we have good fortune of having some leaders who are actually, even in today's situation, are in fact setting a right example in terms of their integrity, financial integrity. At least if you just confine to that, they're very much, they are role models, you know. So that I would say, because what happens is, Prabhupada, again our founder, I'll quote him, Grihini dose griha nashta rajar dose rajya bhrashta. That means, he was a Bengali, our founder, so a lot of Bengali saying that a good household is destroyed when the housewife is not up to the mark, and a kingdom is destroyed when king is not up to the mark.
Yes.
So at least we have today a king, I feel, whose integrity is well known in terms of finances, you know.
Yes. The ultimate solution that you are giving is a spiritual rehabilitation center wherein people can go back to understand their vices, and and at least they will start having some shame that they have really thrived something, and they're really they have to improve, scope of improvement. When a human civilization sees that there is no scope for any improvement, that's where the civilization is at a great
I would
damage.
say the solution is reforming the educational system,
Okay.
and including the spiritual aspect, that whatever you do, there are repercussions to it. You cannot be peaceful by committing sinful activities. That education, that there are higher principles in nature, and you don't violate them, and you can never be happier doing that. That much education, and purpose of life has to be taught. What is the purpose of life? What we are here for? Where do we come from and where we go? And then actually what we are seeking in life, we are seeking non-material satisfaction. We are why a bureaucrat is asking for bribe or kickbacks, like a state today, in South India, all the that contractor association is protesting, going for hunger strike, because the government is asking 40% kickbacks. Is that correct?
Yes, in Karnataka it happened.
Yeah, whatever. So my point is, why they are asking kickback? A person who is apparently, because he is lacking something in life, he doesn't know what is he lacking. He think if he gets kickback, he'll be happy. No, he is lacking is satisfaction, like a fish out of water. Something is missing. Fish goes for outing. Fish goes on a cruise. something is missing. Fish goes to mall, there's still something will be missing. Why I am not happy? Then fish goes to, let's say, that multiplex theater, or fish gets a boyfriend or a girlfriend, a nightclub, something is missing. Fish goes to pub, most expensive wines. What is that missing is
Water.
water. So all we need in our life is water, and that water is non-material satisfaction. Our connection with God
Spiritual quest.
is spiritual quest we are missing. Once that is there in life, whatever happens, no matter, one can be happy in any situation in life. That is missing, and that was there in Indian system. Let me tell you, our founder, he was in pharmacy, he was a pharmacist. And one for many years he supplied one Mr. Abdullah, old Muslim gentleman, was supplying him glass bottles. There was no plastic that time, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how many years back. So now in that, once he asked Abdullah, how old are you? He said, they said, sir, I am more than 72 or 75. So how long you have been working? I said, I don't even remember. I was a very small kid. Since that I have been supplying these glass bottles. So then you must have collected a lot of money by now. He said, something I have, sir, I could save something. Then what do you want to do with it? I have a desire before I die. I want to build a mosque. So that was his driving force throughout the life. Let me save something. That was the force. That was the time India. You go to all holy places. Even today, people had built annakshetrams, dharmashalas. They would, whenever there was an access of their whatever simple lifestyle, they would try to give out for this. They would try to share. Sharing was caring,
Yeah, very nice.
But today,
accumulation.
my own EMIs are not somebody who is drawing. I know a person who is drawing, let's say, 1.2 crores package, and he says, Swamiji, Prabhuji, I have a lot of tensions of EMIs, and if I ever lose my job, I'll be on the streets. And he's drawing 1.2 crore package.
Horrible situation.
So consumerism is so India was like that.
No, India was never at this scale of accumulation spree.
Because they were educated since childhood,
yes,
the goal of life.
Today the entire insecurity is
scriptural knowledge.
Yes, definitely.
Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata. And shall I tell you another? Prabhupada, our founder, told that he had a neighbor. When he was a young man, he had a neighbor who was about to pass away. So he just was repeating last moments that I have taken such and such loan from that grocer, you better pay it. Son was, Dad, don't worry, I am going to do that. You are about to pass away, let me be with you. So last thing he insisted and passed away. So the body is lying there and goes to that grocer that my father just passed away and he told me 100 times since morning.
Yeah.
Please check up what's due. So he looked up and he says, no, there is no due. He told, my father told me, 100, whatever figure he said, no, I have no due. No, father told, as a dying man, he is not lying. So better take it. He says, no, if it's not in my record, I can't take it. He says, sir, you want to send my father to hell? He said, grocer said, do you want me to go to hell? And they had a fought and a police case was registered. He is saying, I have to give you. He says, I can't take it. That was India. So there was concern and there are repercussions. You see, there is justice. God's mill grinds slow, but it's grinds exceedingly fine.
Yeah.
Those who have stolen, those who have committed, that's why you don't find still a million, a billion, a bank robber living happily.
Yeah.
There are repercussions. It may take time, but it happens. They pay the price, you know.
So it is already late. So we better go and rectify our educational process and teach
Yes.
children about moral ethics and values first, which is a real education.
Yeah, basically,
everything
if you
follows.
introduce Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata, Prahlad says, Komaram achrit pragya dharmana bhagavatani hai. He was the son of the emperor of the whole universe. But he was not corrupted. He could not be corrupted by his teachers, demoniac teachers, because he was taught Bhagavata in womb by Narada. So once you have Komaram, this science, then what India was there like this. Not that it's, and you just don't have to go very far back, you know. During Bengal famine, 6 million people died, but nobody stole, you know.
Hats off to the Indian moral values. So I hope we'll again see that India back, Swamiji, with all the spiritual insight that you have given. May this benefit all our viewers. We should go back and correct our educational system, and we should give moral ethics and values right from the childhood. And those ethics, we should pick up from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Thank you so much for your spiritual insights.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.